that we know the physical limits of our hearts, let's learn how we can manage our heart and its emotions. Miss Nanuka Fecanlas joins us once again for this episode. Ms. Canlas is a faculty of De La Salle University's Counseling and Educational Psychology Department, and she will be discussing management of emotions and moods. Let's give the floor to Ms. Nanuka Fecanlas.
Okay, hello everyone. Our topic for today is all about emotions and how to be emotionally healthy. Anger, fear, disgust, joy, and sadness, these are all emotions. But what exactly is an emotion? An emotion is a psychological state, but it is complex in its nature. Now, what makes it complex is that there should be three components that are present in an emotion. The first one is that of a subjective experience. Usually may dahilan bakit tayo may emotion. At yung dahilan na yon, this is what we would label as the subjective experience. Now, the second one is that of a physiological response. Yung katawan natin goes through changes. May changes yung katawan natin in response to that experience na meron tayo. And then the third component is that of a behavioral response. So, may gagawin na tayo or may ginagawa na tayo because of those subjective experience and physiological response. Now, let's talk about an example so that more or less it will be a lot clearer to us. Okay? So we are all familiar and we are all into this COVID-19 pandemic situation, di ba? So, iba yung situation ko sa situation ng iba. Iba yung experience ko sa experience ng iba. Now, with the lifting of the quarantine status now, posibleng meron na sa atin ng mga physically back to work. Okay? Now, let's say after a week of commuting back and forth sa trabaho, bigla ka nakabasa ng memo. Sabi dun sa memo that someone from the office tested positive for COVID-19. So, nabasa yon ng mata mo, tapos pinag-uusapan pa ng mga office mates mo. So, now you see yourself in an experience, which could be different from the experience of your daughter who is at home doing her online classes. Now, the message that you read, tanggap ng sense organs natin, which is the eyes or the ears kasi narinig natin yan. Now, this message gets to be relayed to the brain. The brain is the central processing unit of our body. So, there are little structures in there that actually are responsible for some emotions, like the amygdala is responsible for fear, the hypothalamus is responsible for love, okay? So, yung brain ngayon na magsasabi, anong klase ng emotion meron na pwedeng i-attach dun sa experience na yun. But, we still cannot feel the emotion, no? Meron pang gagawin yung brain. The brain now will have to send chemicals. Magsasend siya ng chemicals to the different organs of the body like the stomach, the lungs, the heart, muscles, iba't iba pa sa iba't ibang parte ng katawan natin. So that is when the heart receives the chemicals, the heart will now start to beat fast. At kapag yung stomach, medyo nangangasim na siya ngayon ng konti. So you see, that's when we start to feel the feelings. Nararamdaman na ngayon natin. May pakiramdam ka na bumibilis yung tibok ng puso mo. May pakiramdam ka na parang kinukulang ka na ng hininga or nagte-tense yung muscles mo. And then, we now tend to act based on these feelings. So, pwede kang nangangatal na sa nervyos, o kaya galit na galit ka na, o kaya umiiyak ka na. Okay? So, the entire thing, present yung tatlong components ng emotion. We have the subjective experience, we have the physiological response, and we have the behavioral response. Okay, now, so, kung tayo ay nagagalit, pero mayroong dahilan, which is the subjective experience, then it is normal. Kung tayo ay umiiyak, pero mayroong dahilan, then it is normal. Okay? Now, one of the things that we also need to be aware of is the difference between the emotion and mood. Tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, an emotion is something na may definite and identifiable cause. It is something that is short-lived lang, pero intense. Malakas ang sipa niya. Okay. Ang mood naman, on the other hand, is something that is mild. Yung intensity, mas long-lasting, mas matagal sa atin yung ganong pakiramdam. And one thing here is that yung cause, there is a cause, but it is difficult for you to pinpoint ano ba talaga yung dahilan. Okay, halimbawa mo, iyak ka ng iyak, ngawa ka ng ngawa. Okay, that is a behavior. Posible ang emotion ng iyong pag-iyak, ng pagngawa is galit, is lungkot, is inis. Okay, nagiinis ka. Pero may dahilan. Kaya ka ganun kasi nalaman mo na itong best friend mo nasa ICU at may COVID-19 at hindi nakinig sa'yo na huwag umattend ng party. Ayun, nagkaroon tuloy ng sakit. So, sobrang intense ng galit mo, ng inis mo, ng concern mo sa best friend mo. Kaya umiiyak ka ng ganun. Normal, kasi may dahilan. Okay? Yun naman nga yung mood, on the other hand, is hindi mo talaga alam kung bakit for the past 2 months, for the past 6 months, masyadong down yung feeling mo, no? Down ka talaga. And hindi ka naman nagngangawa, pero malulungkutin kang tao. Now, that's the difference between the emotion and the mood. Okay, now what I will be doing now is to discuss some behaviors that are emotionally unhealthy. And I hope that with this, we will be able to draw out sino or ano yung emotionally healthy person. Okay, first things first. Ito yung mga tao na laging sinasabing, I am okay. Okay, they're the ones who try to present a smile, na nakangiti, pero deep inside, masama ang pakiramdam nila or galit sila. Sila yung mga tao na yung bang tipong katulad ng mga nanay natin na pagod na, ang daming ginagawa, kanang kamay, punong-puno, kaliwang kamay, punong-puno. Tapos, pag nakita ng barkado or ng friend niya dati, sabi, uy, Mare, kumusta na? Buhay may asawa. Kahit pagod na yun. Sabi, I'm okay lang ako. Ang saya-saya maging nanay. Ang saya-saya ng may asawa. Okay? No, why is this not good? Simply because you try to project an image or a face saying you're okay, pero ang intention mo lang talaga is to please other people. Why? Because there are expectations na kapag, let's say, nanay ka, dapat masaya ka, marunong kang magtiis, marunong kang magsakripisyo, diba? So those are expectations coming from other people. You tend to be a people pleaser to the point that we all suppress our emotions, and that is not healthy. Okay, next would be, if you're the type of person who would not want to join parties or who would not want to do fun activities, and if in case you will be invited, palagi kang may dahilan na, sira kasi yung gripo ng banyo namin, kailangan ayusin ko. O kaya may sakit kasi nanay ko, kailangan asikasuhin ko. Or if meron man reunion at nasa bahay ninyo, then a few minutes you get to say hi, hello, pero bandang huli, wala ka na dun sa lugar na yon, kundi nasa sarili mo na ikaw ng kwarto at nagmumukmuk ka na, you want to be alone. Or if ever, diba sa trabaho, we have what we call as the performance feedback. Okay? So, pag performance feedback, kakausapin ka ng boss mo, iba na yung pakiramdam mo. Parang ayaw mo nang pumasok, mag-absent ka na. Or pag nahuli ka naman ng boss mo at hindi ka nakapag-absent, usually pag may narinig ka ng hindi maganda, umiiyak ka na. Or worst would be, you walk out. You walk out on yun sa conversation niyo ng boss mo. Okay. Now, dependency. And this is all about emotional dependency. You tend to attribute your emotional well-being to the presence of a person or to the absence of a person. So, masaya ka kapag kasama mo si ganito. Okay? Nagagalit ka, lumalabas yung galit mo kapag nakikita mo si ganito. So, yung emotional well-being mo is dependent on the presence or the absence of a particular person. Okay? Next would be, if you hold on to grudges, if you tend to be unforgiving, we have to really release our emotions. So if there is something that makes us feel bad, dapat ideally, we should be able to talk about it. Pero there are some people who really find it difficult to talk, to release their emotions. So, ang nangyayari, nagkikimkim. In Filipino, we have that nagkikimkim ng galit or nagkikimkim ng sama ng loob to the point na hindi na nakakalimutan. What's worse is that there's some people who would tend to like, kapag nagkaroon na ng conversation na hindi maganda at hindi siya nakapagsalita, diba? Pag uwi sa bahay, nag-i-imagine na yan na naulit yung nangyari tapos siya ngayon nasasagot na niya yung kausap niya, nasabi na niya sa kausap niya kung ano yung gusto niya dapat sabihin, na ipagtanggol niya yung sarili niya. Well, that is just fantasizing about it. But in reality, you were never able to talk about what you truly feel inside of you. Well, if you are only surviving life and you're not living your life, that is emotionally unhealthy. Alam nyo, we have what we call as emotional flatness. The same thing like boredom, pero para bang flat na lang. Wala na siyang variety of emotions. So if in the morning you wake up and then you go to work and then in the afternoon stop working and then go home, tulog, tapos morning wake up ulit, then do the same thing. There's nothing exciting about life. Okay? Walang chance for you to experience all other emotions. So, ask yourself, is there really something that you look forward to every day? Okay, next would be people who have a lot of insecurities, people who tend to berate themselves, belittle themselves, if they have low frustration tolerance, no? You always think of your mistakes, o kaya you see yourself as an apparition na parang hindi ka nakikita ng ibang tao kahit na anong ginagawa mo. You always look at your failures and then you say, I'm really not good enough. Okay? O kaya, yung bang may gagawin kapag may gagawin ka, iniisip mo kung ano na yung iisipin ng ibang tao about you. Okay? Now, what we want to achieve is emotional health. But mind you, achieving emotional health is a skill. So, dapat napapractice siya. And at the same time, it is also a process. It takes time. It takes time for you to have emotional health. So, why don't we start now? Okay? Let's try to take steps little by little. Now, the steps could be like big steps, no? Masyado yatang mahirap gawin. Pero if you're aware of this right now, sa ngayon, then probably madali mo siyang maisa sa puso para magawa mo siya. Okay, how do we do it? First, we have to be aware of our own emotions and our own reactions. So, alamin mo ano yung nakakapagpasaya sa'yo, ano yung nakakapagpalungkot sa'yo, ano yung nakakapagpagalit sa'yo. So, kung alam mo na yung nakakapagpasaya sa'yo, then probably you will try to expose yourself more into it. Because feeling happiness, positive yun positive vibes ang binibigay. But if you know what makes you angry, then probably exert effort to avoid those situations. Okay? But if you really cannot totally avoid, alamin mo man lang kung ano yung usual reaction mo. So if pag nagagalit ka, ang usual reaction mo is mabilis ang kamay mo, nananakit ka agad. Okay? So no, alamin mo kung ano yung mga sitwasyon na posibleng manakit ka agad. Okay? Next would be think before you act. So, alam na natin kung ano yung mga sitwasyon na nakakapagpagalit sa atin. Alam na natin kung ano yung madalas nating maging reaksyon. So, if you are exposed to a situation, yung subjective experience na component ng emotion, you're aware of that this situation will make you behave in a way that you will punch another person. So, alam mong makakagalit, stop. Kasi aware ka na Stop muna. Then give yourselves time. At least the 10-second rule and para mag-cool down a bit. And during that time, probably think, is there a better way for me to express my emotion? And then, at the same time, kailangan mag-act ka pa rin. You have to address, you have to express the emotion. So if it's galit, madali kang manakit. So stop muna, think, is there any way else? Pero yung muscle mo, tense na eh. Kasi yung brain mo, nagbigay na ng chemicals sa yung muscle. So tense na. Tendency is to box, no? Mananakit ka na. So pwede rin naman na, ipunin mo yung ano dyan, yung galit, and then for you to express the emotion, ipo ka mo ng malakas, sabay, nabuka ng mabilis. Then that is already one way of you expressing the anger that you feel inside. Okay, I hope this works. Okay, now, next would be you express your feelings in appropriate ways. Okay, you have to recognize that your feelings are normal, especially when they are a response yung feelings mo sa isang situation. So your feelings are also acceptable, but expressing them appropriately is the question. Okay, pwede naman na sabihin mo na sa ibang tao kung ano yung nakakagalit sa'yo. Na yung dahilan bakit ka na or you can talk about it in a way na bago dumating doon sa punto na talagang galit na galit ka na, sabihin mo na, alam mo, nararamdaman ko na yung galit ko. Nararamdaman ko na yung galit ko. And saying that will make you at least recognize the fact that you're getting angry. At kapag na-recognize mo na yon, then madali mo nang mag-deal. You can already easily deal with your anger by trying to think ways of how to express your anger. Okay. Next would be, ask yourself, are you prepared? Prepared for what? Are you prepared to face situations that could somehow trigger an emotional response for you? Usually, these situations are what we call as stressful or dreadful situations. So, as early as now, ngayon pa lang, make it a part of your daily routine. Engage in activities that will help you manage stressful or dreadful situations. What would be these activities? Yung mga kasama mo na sa routine mo yan na nagdi-deep breathing exercises ka, slow intake of breath, hold it for a few seconds, and then slow release of breath, nakakakalma yon. Pero kung tamad ka, gusto mo namang mag-hype up, yung mabilis na breathing dapat. Pero if you want to practice, having that calm state, then do deep breathing exercises or meditation exercises, yoga, strenuous physical activities, or the slow movement exercise of Tai Chi or progressive muscle relaxation. So, tingnan nyo, all of these activities involve movement. And these activities, physical activities, are actually ways on how you can prepare yourself, deal with possible stressful situations in the future. Okay. Next would be, you have to strive for balance. Hindi lang pinapatay mo yung sarili mo doing something that probably will not make you enjoy, no? So, balance between work and family, and then find things for time na stay positive, like work, rest, and play should also be balanced. Focus on the positive things in your life. Next, we take care of our physical health. We have to eat healthy. We have to get enough sleep. We have to exercise regularly. Bakit? Diba nga? Kasi the brain sends chemicals to the different organs of the body. So more or less, you have to prepare your body for the influx of chemicals from the brain. Imagine if you are hindi physically healthy or not physically healthy, tapos hindi ka healthy kumain, so you're not taking care of your body. Tapos you are exposed to a dreadful situation in which yung brain bigla magsasend ng chemicals sa iyong heart. Si heart hindi ready for that kasi not healthy. So, mabibigla ang puso. There's a possibility of a heart attack. Okay. So, next would be, you have to connect with others. Keep a big circle of friends. Palakihin mo yung circle of friends mo. Do not just limit yourself to one or two people, pero damihan mo yung kaibigan mo so that you can have enough support system. Right now, sa panahon ng pandemic, you can do phone calls, di ba? Or you can text each other, or virtually, you can see each other. Next, you have to find purpose and meaning. Don't settle for a life that is so monotonous. There should be something that you should look forward to by finding out what is important to you, by coming up with hobbies or kaya developing another passion. So taking care of animals, having a pet with you, or uso naman si plantito at si plantita, or yung mga diamond na yung kung nagdidikit-dikit nila ganun na diamond, whatever it is, di ba? So it can give you that purpose that at the end of my work, meron akong uuwi na aso, and it gives me the opportunity to experience or any other emotion aside from boredom. Okay. Next would be to build resilience. What is resilience? Resilience is when you bounce back from disappointment or failure. Resilience is a skill. It is a skill. It's not just about you smiling, tapos yung bahay mo inaanod sa likod ng baha. Diba? That's what we usually see sa newspapers. Tapos sabihin nila, the resilient Filipino. Well, posibleng oo, pero baka naman mamaya that person is actually trying to cover up the real emotion that is inside and presenting a face that is happy because he wants to please other people, or he does not want other people to know what he truly feels inside. Okay. And then most effective would be if you talk it out. Talk it out with a trusted friend. If you cannot find a friend to talk it out to or with, then keep a journal. Writing about what you experience would do you good kasi if you read back, makikita mo, ito pala ang dahilan bakit ako madalas malungkot o mainis o matensyon. At ito pala yung madalas kong ginagawa. So probably you will have that insight na siguro kailangan sa susunod ganito ang gagawin ko or ganyan. Okay? And it's okay to talk about it. It's really beneficial to talk about things that would cause you emotional outbursts. And if you find it difficult to look for someone to talk to, you feel na nakausap mo na yung friend mo pero meron pa ring hindi na-attendahan sa iyong issues, then seek for professional help. You can always look for a counselor or a psychologist, no, to help you out. Yun nga lang, kayo ang hahanap sa kanila. Kasi we in the profession, we really do not know who are these people who wants help from us, not unless you guys will tell us that you need help. Okay. Now, from there, we can now say kung sino na yung emotionally healthy person. The emotionally healthy person is someone who is in control of his thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Bakit? Kasi aware siya. Alam na niya kung ano yung mga posible niyang maramdaman, ano yung mga sitwasyon na posible siyang mag-react ng ganito at ganyan. Okay? Now, this person also has good relationships. Meron siyang magandang circle of friends who supports him in emotionally whenever things don't get good for him. Okay. He feels good about himself or herself. Wala na yung mga feelings of insecurities. Kung meron man, then you can properly deal with all of these feelings. As a good perspective of problems because you don't act at once. Kasi alam mo na nga kung ano yung mangyayari sa iyo eh. Ano yung magiging resulta kapag you give in to that emotion. Then probably you stop, you think, and then you act. So during the thinking process, naiisip mo kung ano-ano pa yung pwede mong gawin. And then, is able to cope with stress. You prepare yourself for stressful situations. So even if you do not find yourself in a stressful situation, prepared na yung sarili mo because you're physically okay and then you experience kasama na sa iyong routine yung mga calming techniques and strategies. And then you bounce back from setbacks. Resilience is the key to this one. And you're able to work productively. Okay? Kasi nga naman, you're a fully functioning person. And you are physically healthy. Diba? Pag emotionally healthy ka, naaatendahan mo yung diet, yung exercise, yung sleep. So, you get to be physically healthy because may evidence shows that you could have lower blood pressure, reduced risk for heart disease, and you are able to maintain a healthier weight. Okay, now, um, with what is happening to us right now, with the dilemma ng pandemic, the pandemic situation, it is very important that we take care of our mental health. It's not just the physical health that matters, kundi pati yung mental health. And emotional well-being, your emotional health, is an essential component of one's mental health. Okay, with that, I end, and I hope I was again able to share to you some worthwhile things about emotions and emotional health. Thank you very much.